everybody, today we're going to be checking out a really cool 3-rail O-scale steam locomotive from Lionel, the massive 2882H7. So here is the Lionel H7 on the layout, and man, doesn't this thing just look great? It's a very busy locomotive. All sorts of pipes and valves everywhere. Just looks awesome. Lionel offered these in their 2024 Volume 1 catalog, and these were delivered around November of 2024. They offered 8 different versions of the H7. 4 of those were for the C&O. They did number 1572 with a Vanderbilt style tender. They did 1553 with a Vandy style tender. That one I almost bought instead of this one. They did 1564 with a shortened Vandy tender, and they did 1584 with an Allegheny style tender. They also did one for Denver Rio Grande, number 3605. They did 2 for the UP, numbers 3589 and 3592. And of course, they did a single RF&P version, number 1, that we have here. Now, no matter which H7 you buy, they all have the same price, right around $2,000. That's the retail price, $1,999.99. Now, of course, most of the time, you're not going to pay that much if you go through a good, reputable Lionel dealer. But right at $2,000, that is the retail price. And then in terms of features, you've got Lionel's legacy command control and legacy rail sounds and Bluetooth on board. That means when it comes time to operate this engine, you've got a number of choices. So if you want to go old school, you can always run this thing conventionally with nothing more than a transformer and some track. Of course, the best option is to use Lionel's legacy command system or their new Base 3 command system. However, you can also use Lionel's older TMCC command system. Also, because it's got Bluetooth on board, you can run this with the Lion Chief app on your smartphone or tablet. And of course, if you're going to use the Base 3, that Bluetooth connection allows you to use the Cab 3 app on your favorite smartphone or tablet. So let's get some stats on this puppy. Now, lengthwise, we're talking about right at 27 inches without the couplers. If you count the couplers, you're closer to 28 inches. And let's get the weight. So the locomotive itself weighs 9 pounds, half an ounce. The tender weighs 3 pounds, 9.5 ounces. Total combined weight is 12 pounds, 10 ounces, very healthy. Now, being a big articulated locomotive, of course, the minimum curve is going to be 0.72, so it's not going to be very friendly to a layout that's small with tight curves. Now, when I measured the pulling power for the H7, it came in right at 3 pounds, 10 ounces, which is fantastic. It's great. And it essentially means you'll be able to pull whatever you want with this thing. Don't worry about it. Going in for a closer look at some of the key spots on this locomotive, here's one of my favorite views, the very front end. Look how amazing that looks. All sorts of detail going on. You've got coupler cut bars, air hoses, grab irons. Look at the detail on those cylinders. I mean, it just looks awesome down here. And man, does all that drive gear look incredible or what? And from above, it looks even better. I love all this detailing up here. Now, out of the box, the engine comes with a dummy scale coupler there that looks nice and realistic. However, if you want to double head the engine, also in the box, they supply this dummy large O-gauge coupler, which you can swap out, and then you can easily double head the engine. Now, up here, we've got several cool things going on. First of all, the bicolor classification lights. So these classification lights can be changed from being green to white to off. It looks great, and it allows you for more realistic operations when you're running this engine on your layout. And we've got a nice continuation of all this great detailing. We've got legible builder's plates down here. On this dome here, the top comes off, and that reveals the master controls for the engine. And you've got the usual stuff in there, the run program switch, 2 switches to turn the 2 smoke units on and off, and then a Bluetooth on and off switch as well. And it's held down magnetically and snaps back on just like that. Moving back, again, so much cool detailing on this thing. Now this little steam dome here, the top can be removed like so, and that reveals the hole that you pour smoke fluid down to load smoke fluid into the smoke unit that supplies smoke for the whistle steam smoke effect. And again, it's held down magnetically and snaps on like that. And then back here, again, all sorts of cool detailing. The dynamo, this piping back here. We've got opening roof hatches on top of the cab. Then we've got the safety valves and that whistle I was talking about. And of course, when you blow the whistle, it shoots smoke out from underneath the whistle and simulates the look of steam shooting out of a real steam whistle. And then down here under the cab, aside from all this wonderful piping going on, we've got the variable ash pan glow effect. And the way that works is when the engine is in operation, there's a red glow coming from the ash pan. And the faster the engine goes, the more intense that glow becomes. Now, the variable ash pan glow effect has always been one of my favorite effects, but it doesn't get a lot of attention, even though Lionel has been putting it in a lot of their high-end steam engines for many, many years. And so next time you look at a Lionel steam engine, look for that variable ash pan glow effect. It's really cool, and it only adds to the realism of the model. And then the cab itself is extremely well done. We've got clear glass in the windows. This little window does slide open like that. On the inside, there are 2 hand-painted crew figures. There's interior illumination in the cab, and there's also a red glow in the firebox when the engine is in operation. And then on the back of the cab, you can see there's grab irons, there's these really nice white curtains, and there's also a deck plate connecting the locomotive to the tender, and there's safety tread on that deck plate. And there's a look at the gap between the locomotive and the tender, and it's pretty good, at least for O-scale. And then we've got the beautiful tender. I guess it's a Vandy style tender, sort of a short Vandy. We've got the beautiful RF&P logo on the side, nice die-cast metal trucks. And then the coal load, that's real coal, little bits of real coal. And this load does pop off to reveal the interior of the tender. Now, I suspect at some point in this model's life, maybe in the last run, there may have been controls in there, but no longer. You can just see the legacy rail sounds board and stuff like that. But it is kind of neat that this thing comes off. And again, that's real coal. And then on the back of the tender, we've got the electrocoupler down here that can be fired remotely. Nice coupler cut bar. There's the big number 1. And we've got an operating backup light here with lighted number boards on either side. Okay, now comes the fun part. Let's start this thing up.
Train 1 Brakeman. We're showing 90 pounds on the rear of the train. Take out 20 for initial terminal brake test.
That's a Roger. 20-pound reduction given. Checking for leakage, over.
Roger, showing 20 pounds. Walking the train. Brakeman out.
All right, so like all legacy-equipped locomotives that Lionel has been making over the last few years, this does have a choice of 5 whistles and 5 bells. So we'll check out the 5 whistles first. My favorite whistle is number 1, but let me know which one is your favorite. Okay, now let's check out the 5 bells. My favorite is number 5, but let me know which one is your favorite.
Roger. See you tomorrow. Out.
All right, so there you have it, Lionel's brand new 2882 H7 locomotive. This thing is so beautiful, such great detailing. It runs great, it sounds great. It's just awesome all around, and I'm so glad I picked up one of these. That's going to do it for now. I'm Eric Siegel. Thanks for watching. Stay safe, and I'll see you next time. To discuss this model and any other O-Gauge trains, check out the O-Gauge Railroading online forum.